There's a bunch of strange holes around the planet that are either natural or man-made that boggle the imagination. From man-made super deep mines and boreholes to a cave that seemingly has no bottom. Join us as we check out 10 of the strangest and deepest holes on Earth. Diavik Diamond Mine. Aerial photos of this mine are unreal. It looks like it would be impossible to drill down into the existing landmass with water on all sides and not flood the mine itself. Welcome to Diamond Bat Diavik. This diamond mine is located in the Canadian Arctic 186 miles north of Yellowknife. The mine is an important part of the regional economy and employs 700 people with annual revenues of around $100 million. The mine accounts for about 7.5 million carats, 1,500 kilograms of diamonds per year. One interesting thing is that it's really easy to get a flight over the mine because it's next to Diavik Airport, which has regular traffic on a daily basis. The other interesting thing about this mine is there are plans to shut it down in 2024, where they will close the mine, remove all equipment and infrastructure, and return the land as close as possible to its original condition. Dedilovo Hole. Recently, a huge sinkhole opened up suddenly in the small Russian village Dedilovo near the city of Tula. The huge hole shocked the locals, swallowing a private vegetable garden, and was measured at 49 feet in diameter and 98 feet deep. It's a scary thing to see, and many locals wonder if the hole will get bigger, and many people in the village are afraid more sinkholes like this one could open and maybe swallow their entire home along with its inhabitants. But this isn't the only time the giant sinkholes have appeared in Russia, and in 2016, a mysterious giant hole opened up in Siberia. But this didn't just open up like the others. Video captured from a helicopter shows debris and signs of combustion, as if the ground had exploded. This hole is 262 feet in diameter, and as you can see, it doesn't look like a sinkhole, and there appears to be a large cavern underneath it. It turns out that the crater could have been formed by a combination of water, salt, and gas mixture, which ignited an underground explosion. Gas accumulated with the ice mixed with the sand beneath the surface, which was also mixed with salt 10,000 years ago when the area was a sea. Tuatona Mine. This gold mine in South Africa is one of the deepest man-made holes in the earth and is 2.4 miles deep. This mine began operations back in 1962 and is home to one of the deepest mining operations in the world. This mine is a very dangerous place to work, with an average of 5 fatalities from mining accidents each year. Since its initial construction, there have been 2 secondary shafts added, bringing the mine to its current depth. It's hard to believe, but this mine has 500 miles of tunnels and employs around 5,600 people. This mine is so deep that the temperatures can rise to life-threatening levels. In order for miners to survive, air conditioning equipment is used to cool the mine from a hot 131 degrees Fahrenheit down to a more tolerable 82 degrees Fahrenheit. In fact, this mine is so deep into the Earth's upper mantle that the face of the rock can reach temperatures of 140 degrees Fahrenheit. If you work here, forget about needing a microwave at lunchtime. Getting to work is a journey that takes 1 hour from the surface to reach the rock face, and that lift travels at 36 miles per hour or 16 meters per second. Mponeng Gold Mine. If you thought that mine was scary and deep, then you haven't seen Mponeng Gold Mine. It is the deepest gold mine in the world, reaching down below 2.5 miles below the surface. It is considered to be one of the most substantial gold mines in the world, and yes, it also takes over an hour to get to work on a lift that drops down at 35 miles per hour. Imagine having to take this ride each day, in and out of the mine. It's also very hot inside Mponeng, with rock temperatures reaching 151 degrees Fahrenheit. To combat this, the mine pumps slurry ice into the underground tunnels to keep the air below 86 degrees Fahrenheit. A mixture of concrete, water, and rock is packed into excavated areas, which acts as an insulator, and tunnel walls are secured by what's called shotcrete, which is reinforced with steel fibers and held in place by diamond mesh netting. The strange thing about this deep, man-made tunnel is that researchers looking for extremophiles discovered a bacterium that has survived for millions of years on chemical food sources that derive from the radioactive decay of minerals in the surrounding rock. Hole in the Antarctic. In an effort to uncover more information about climate change and how it's affected the planet, a team of scientists and engineers from the British Antarctic Survey drilled a hole more than 1 mile deep in the western Antarctic. But instead of using normal drilling equipment, which can suffer problems in such a low-temperature environment, the hole was instead drilled using hot water. How they achieved this was by melting a large reservoir of water from the surrounding snow, Then the water was pumped through the heaters to reach 194 degrees Fahrenheit, and then pumped through a 1.5-mile-long hose, which is lowered at 1.2 miles per minute, into the ice. A pump was then lowered down to pump the water back up and into the heaters. Using this process, it took 63 hours of continuous drilling, and the team was able to create a hole with a diameter of around 1 foot. Making everything extra challenging was the fact that the hole was constantly refreezing, and there was limited time to lower the monitoring instruments before it became unusable. Guatemala sinkhole. In 2010, photos of this huge sinkhole started circulating online, and many people wondered if the photos were real because this hole opened so cleanly and so deep in the middle of downtown Guatemala City that many people thought it was a hoax. But surprisingly, this hole was not caused by nature, but was instead caused by humans and bad engineering. A burst sewer pipe or storm drain was likely responsible for the 60 feet wide and 300 feet deep hole. How it likely happened was the city was built in a region where the first few 100 meters of the ground is mostly made of a material called pumice fill, which was deposited from past volcanic eruptions. Storms hollowed out the cavity and, unknown to everyone around, formed a huge chasm. And by the way, this hole swallowed a 3-story house that was being used as a factory. There are claims that there were at least 15 people, including a security guard, who were sucked into the giant hole and didn't survive. That's scary stuff. The Berkeley Pit. This ominous and huge man-made pit in the earth is a former copper mine located in Butte, Montana. But what makes it incredibly strange is that it's one of the only places on Earth where you can pay to see toxic waste, if that's your thing. This giant pit is now filled with more than 40 billion gallons of acidic water, heavy metals, and some incredibly robust microscopic life forms that can actually survive the water. So why would someone want to pay to see toxic waste? For one thing, the sheer scale of the site is something to behold. Aerial photos show a huge black hole that seems like a bottomless pit. The pit is 1 mile long by half a mile wide, and its depth was measured at 1,780 feet, with 1,000 feet which are filled with acidic water and super high concentrations of heavy metals and toxic chemicals, including copper, iron, arsenic, cadmium, zinc, and sulfuric acid. Get close to the pit and you'll notice that the water turns a deep, dark red. If you were to drink a large amount of this water, it would end up corroding through your digestive system, as many birds and animals find out the hard way. During the lifespan of the mine, 320 million tons of ore and 700 million tons of waste rock were mined from the Berkeley Pit. Fun fact, that's enough copper to pave a 4-line highway 2 inches thick from Chicago to New York, with plenty left over to get the tip of Long Island. Kola Super Deep Borehole. Well, here's something that sounds like it's right out of a science fiction thriller. The Kola Super Deep Borehole is the result of a scientific drilling project by the Soviet Union, and drilling began on May 24, 1970, using an Uralmash 4E, and later the Uralmash 15,000 series drilling rig. The project's goal was simple: attempt to drill a hole as deep as possible into the Earth's crust. Boreholes were drilled by branching off from a central hole. The deepest of these holes, called SG3, reached 40,230 feet, or 7.6 miles deep. It is known to be the deepest artificial point on Earth as of May 2019. But here's the strange and crazy part about this hole. It's only 9 inches in diameter. In terms of true vertical depth, this is the deepest borehole in the world. However, for 2 decades, it was also the world's longest borehole in terms of measured depth along the well bore. It has since been surpassed by the Al Shaheen oil well in Qatar, and in 2011 by the 40,502-foot Sakhalin Oroptu OP11 oil well. Krubera Cave. Also known as Voronya Cave, which in Russian translated means Crow's Cave, Krubera is the world's deepest cave and is located in Abkhazia, Georgia. Here's the crazy and interesting thing. No one knows what's at the bottom or how deep it really is, as explorers have only made it down 7,208 feet. That's about 1.3 miles down, making it the only cave over a mile deep known to exist on the planet. It's a very dangerous and deep cave with tunnels sometimes very narrow and difficult to pass to ones wide and very large. And if you want to explore this cave system, you better bring some scuba diving gear as some of the tunnels go underwater and can be flooded. One interesting fact about this cave is that it's home to the deepest living terrestrial animal on the planet Earth, which is a 3mm cellambole which has no eyes and lives off fungus and organic matter. Interestingly enough, there are still teams trying to go even further down. Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory. This is probably one of the strangest, deepest holes on the planet, and it's got nothing to do with how it was made or formed. On the icy wasteland of Antarctica sits a massive particle detector called the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory. But looking for this thing will prove difficult because most of the observatory is buried under the ice. Its job is to hunt for neutrinos, which are massless and chargeless particles that almost never interact with matter. The observatory covers 1 cubic kilometer near the South Pole and extends down 4,920 feet, and it's the first of its kind ever built. The observations might solve one of the biggest mysteries in astronomy and answer the question behind neutrinos, cosmic rays, and dark matter. And if they do find something, you'll hear about it here. We hope you enjoyed this video. Do you think you would want to explore one of these places? Tell us in the comments. And if you liked the video, then click on the shiny red subscribe button and turn on notifications, and you'll be the first to know when a brand new video is released. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.